What's going on, guys? It's Pixel Dan here, and we're going to do another look at my stuff video. This one's coming pretty quickly after my last haul video that I posted, but there's a reason for that. My last haul video was right after JoeCon, and you might recall if you watched that video that some of my favorite pickups from the show were the Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat G.I. Joe figures that were released. Walking into JoeCon, those were some of the things I knew that I wanted to pick up. I'm a big fan of those old Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat G.I. Joe figures. In fact, way back when I first started doing toy videos, I did 2 episodes of From Pixels to Plastic talking about the Mortal Kombat and the Street Fighter G.I. Joe figures. Those videos are really bad. The video quality is terrible. You can just really see how things were different when I first started doing videos. But if you want to check them out, regardless, they're out there. You can watch them. But I only had a couple of the figures in those videos. You can see I didn't have a lot. And if I recall correctly, I even borrowed a lot of those figures from a friend of mine to kind of flesh out the amount of characters I showed off in those videos. So I've always wanted to go back and pick up a lot more of these figures. And it's one of those things where, like, if I'm at a toy show and I see them and I know that they're ones I don't have and the prices are good, I grab them and I add them to my collection. So walking into JoeCon, I knew that that's what I wanted to get. And I picked up several, as you saw in my last video. Now, let's flash forward a little bit to a couple months ago. I actually got an email from a viewer named Kurt, who said in his email that he knew that I was a big fan of the Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat Joes, that he had a bunch of them that had been sitting in storage for a while, and he would like to find them a new home. So I ended up talking to him for a little bit and worked out an exchange with him, and he sent me a box filled with the Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat G.I. Joes. Now, why am I just now bringing this up? Because I forgot. Yeah. That's how crazy things are for me in my life, that sometimes I get these packages, I look inside, I go, cool! And then I bring them down into my basement and they get lost in the mess that is still my basement that's being worked on. So, as I'm sitting here and I'm packing, I'm putting things away after JoeCon, I'm kind of unpacking some totes, I'm moving things around, I'm looking, I come across this box that Kurt sent me. And I opened it up and my eyes got wide because I completely forgot that he sent these to me, and I hadn't even completely gone through all of it yet. So I started pulling everything out, and I felt like a little kid getting so excited at all the things that he sent me in the box. So we're going to look at this stuff here today, because now I want to show it off, because I also want to thank Kurt. Hopefully he's watching, because I know it's been a couple months since we've talked about this box, but it's here, and I'm excited, and I'm showing it off here today. So, excuse me, I'm so excited, I'm choking here. You can see my little table sitting next to me here. I got a bunch of them just kind of piled up on here. I've got a bunch of vehicles and a bunch of figures, which is awesome, because I never really had any of the vehicles from the Street Fighter line. I think I picked up one vehicle at Kane County maybe a year or 2 ago because it was a good price and I had never seen it before, and I grabbed it. And I think that was actually this vehicle. So now I've got... this one's actually looks much nicer than the one I picked up too. And look at that, we got ourselves a little Guile. So they did a bunch of driver figures where they were the same figures but the colors were different. Come on, camera, give us a good focus on Guile here. So this Guile is wearing the brown outfit instead of wearing like the normal kind of green camo and everything that you normally see Guile wearing. There you go. And then this is the vehicle that he came with. So it's like a cool little tank there. It's funny because it does have like the G.I. Joe logos on it. See? Got the G.I. Joe logo, but it's also got the Street Fighter logo. And then we got the Guile Rider there that you can put right inside the tank. Boom! Look at that! Rock and roll. So I'll go ahead and move some of the vehicles out of the way as we're going through here. Take a look at some of the other crazy vehicles. They're a little dusty, so I'll definitely have to clean them off a bit once I'm going through and getting them ready to put up on my shelves here. But this is a crazy one here. Check that out. And since I'm not a huge, like I said, I talked about this in the JoeCon video. I didn't collect a lot of stuff from the Joe line. I did buy G.I. Joes as a kid. I have some. I didn't have a lot of the vehicles. So you guys will be able to tell me if any of these are just reused from the G.I. Joe line into the Street Fighter line, or if they're all original creations. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of this is reused. But yeah, there we go. We got this vehicle here. This is a Sagat vehicle. It actually has Sagat's name on the side there, as you can see. And when we open the canopy, we got a couple guys sitting on the inside here. He's holding a sword, too. Yeah. So there is a Sagat. We could take a look. There we go. Look at that Sagat. He's got the purple trunks on there. So he is one of the variants, the driver variants. And also sitting on the inside with him, this is the one I was really excited about because I didn't have this guy yet. It's Balrog with his boxing gloves on. How sweet is that? This is great. There we go. Check him out. Those little boxing gloves. They're just like little plastic. You can just pull. Oh, they're on there tight. But yeah, they just kind of fit over the hands. This is one that I remember always seeing as a kid and always going, yeah, I want that one. But never did pick him up. So there we go. We got a Balrog there. And then Sagat and his sweet purple tank thing. All right. That's the official name, by the way. Sweet purple tank thing. We got another cool little vehicle here. This is an M Bison vehicle. See, his name's on the side. Like a little dune buggy dealio here. Really funky colors. It's like maroon and like this bright orangish pink color. And we can open that canopy up and we've got ourselves the blue M Bison on the inside of that. Also, he's holding this gun. He's ready to go. Pew, pew, pew. Rad. I love it. This is one, I've not seen this one before. Also, it looks like it's missing the wheels in the front. Though they might be in this box still. I gotta look through it. But that's kind of crazy looking, right? It looks like the Karate Chopper might be the name of it. Which is a hilarious name, the Karate Chopper. Look at that, the seat turns on the top. It's got a little missile turret there on the top. So you can spin that around and you can shoot it. That is so cool. Man, this is so fun. So fun. All right, this is a great vehicle. This is a vehicle that says Guile and Chun-Li on the side. Oh, and E Honda, Zangief, and Dhalsim. Look at that. It's got all their names on it. This is like a hero vehicle. It's almost like... Oh, no, it was Zangief. Zangief was a bad guy, right? Yeah, he was totally one of them. Well, I don't know. I guess not in the video game. Was he a bad guy in the movie? I'm trying to remember. This might be from the movie or not. But it does say Street Fighter 2 on the back. Because they did a line of movie figures, too. But sitting inside this vehicle, we have yet another Guile. This one's cool. He's wearing like blue and white. So you can see that one there. Sweet Guile figure. Holding on to that sweet gun there. And then, another one I was really excited about because I didn't have. It's the blue Blanca variant. I got a couple different Blancas now. If you guys remember from my JoeCon haul video, I picked up the movie Blanca. And I got a carded regular green Blanca. Well, now with this slot, I have the uncarded green Blanca and a blue Blanca. And I was always such a fan. I was a Blanca fan. I'm sure a lot of people were when Street Fighter 2 first came out. He was easy to use, you know, you can use the electricity, but also he was a monster character. I'd always been drawn to the crazy monster characters, and that also made him a neat G.I. Joe too, just because he was so different looking than a lot of G.I. Joes out there because of his skin color and everything. So there's comparison time for you. Green Blanca and blue Blanca, and I love them both. That's fantastic. All right, we'll go ahead and move this vehicle out of the way. We got one more vehicle here. It's a Jeep vehicle. Also says Guile on it. Totally looks like something that might have already been a G.I. Joe vehicle, but again, I don't know. See, it's got a huge missile launcher there in the back, but yeah, sweet. So I got all these vehicles now, which I'm really excited about. I can't wait to actually set up these figures now on a display on my shelf. So, a great assortment of figures here too, and let me go through these. Some of these I did have. A lot of them I didn't, so I was really happy about it. So, I showed you the blue M Bison. There is actually a couple different versions of him. Yeah, so this is just like the one that was in the driver's seat on that one. So check this out. There's two different ones here. And I wasn't even sure how many different variants or color variations there were of these figures, but look at this. Two different Bisons here, both wearing the same kind of blue outfit, except one's got a red hat, one's got a blue hat, and this one's wearing some sort of shoulder armor. How cool is that, right? A cool little variant there. And then, of course, we have to go along with that, the standard M Bison wearing the classic red outfit. And this was the regular figure. I had this one as a kid. I don't know if I still have my original one. I don't think I do. But I did have him as a kid. He was one of my favorites because when Street Fighter 2 Turbo came out, it was like mind-blowing that you could play as the boss characters. Balrog, Sagat, Vega, and Bison. Because you couldn't play as them in the regular Street Fighter 2. So I used Bison a lot. He was another go-to guy for me. So he was one that I had as a kid. So those are awesome. I'm glad I've got all those color variants. I did have these guys, and I definitely showed these in my original video back in the day. We got Ryu and Ken. And these are ones that I always kind of like to tease a little bit with this line because Ken specifically, he's got a horrendous head sculpt. And also he's like really armed up. Like he's got like gun holsters and knife holsters on him, and he's got all this gear on him. Like, these are Street Fighter characters, right? They got all these weapons strapped to him. I always thought that was really funny. Like, Raphael's got like a little sai on his sleeve there. Now, the simple answer is because a lot of these reused regular G.I. Joe bodies and parts from G.I. Joe figures, and they just kind of slapped them on there and made Street Fighter figures, which is also why I talked about in the G.I. Joe Con haul video how a lot of the movie figures that came out later were more video game accurate than these original video game figures were. So something to keep in mind there. Another one that was a parts reuse that doesn't match Chun-Li's outfit at all. Chun-Li, obviously. She's just got that Ninja Force Scarlet body with the Chun-Li head on there. Doesn't really look anything like the outfit that she wore in the game. There was a color variation there too. I think that's one of the driver ones. So we got that kind of pinkish, orangish red one, and then we got the blue and yellow and white one. So, sweet. Really happy to have the variants. I love the color variations there. Let's see, I already showed you guys my Blancas. So this one is funny because one of the things I picked up at JoeCon was an E Honda with his towel, because I always talked about how it was hard to find him with his towel, like this guy. But also in this box was an E Honda with his towel. So there we go. I've got him again. But great figure. You can see they've all got that same thing going on with the leg. There's like a way that you can lock it, but over the years, that mechanism just doesn't work very well, so you kind of have to hold him in place. But he's such a great figure. He is one that is actually one of the best because he's so accurate to the game, because he's like an original mold, because they had to make him a bigger body and everything. They gave him the towel, so he looks like video game Honda, which I always really appreciated as a kid. This is another exciting one that I didn't have as a kid. I think I might have got later on, or at least I think it's one that I borrowed from my original video, but there's Vega. Really cool. I remember, and maybe you guys remember too, or anybody out there can correct me, I remember wanting to buy Vega as a kid. And the thing that kept me from buying Vega is that for some reason his little weapons tree in his pack didn't have the claws to clip onto his hand. That's an important part of Vega. And I remember, I think it was Balrog actually, had the claws in his pack. So I felt like their weapons were wrong, and that really bugged me as a kid, because then I knew I had to buy both of them in order to get the claws. And when you're a kid, obviously your budget's a little bit more limited. You only get to pick one toy at a time, and I think that's why I never actually pulled the plug on Vega and Balrog as a kid. It's weird, right? You'd think I would have just bought one and eventually bought the other and I'd have been fine, but I never did that. Now, I do have like this whole bag of weapons that he gave me too. So a lot of these rocket launchers, and there's a bunch of weapons in here. So a lot of this stuff might actually go with the Street Fighter figures, and maybe the claws are in here. So that's definitely something I'm going to have to look for, because I'd like to put the claws on my Vega, for sure. Who else we got here? We've got Zangief. Again, the outfit is not very accurate. I'm pretty certain that he for sure just reuses a Joe part, right? That body looks familiar. But there's Zangief. And this one actually is, he goes right along Honda as being one of the most accurate ones, Dhalsim. He's actually one of the guys that got himself like an original body there. See if I can get my camera to focus for you guys. There you go. So he's got the little skull necklace on. He's got the proper pants. He's a great looking little figure too. Barefoot, which is really cool. Yeah, he's a great one. He's very, very cool. So there's my fantastic figure assortment, right, from Street Fighter. But bonuses were in there too, because it wasn't just the Street Fighter ones. There was also 3 Mortal Kombat figures in this box. Scorpion, regular Scorpion, which is perfect because I just bought movie Scorpion at JoeCon. Now I've got regular old Scorpion to go right alongside him. And this right here, oh, it really made me happy because I talked to you guys about this in the JoeCon video. I bought a mint on card Goro versus Johnny Cage because I wanted to buy a Goro. I ended up springing for the mint on card one because he wasn't too much more expensive. I've got a loose pairing now, which means I have my loose Goro, and I've still got that one mint on card that I just bought, which is a total win for me. So I've got it both ways. Look how amazing Goro is, right? This figure rocks. I always wanted this one when I was younger. I never got it. He is fantastic. The world needs more four-armed figures. He is so cool. Really, really cool. So, man, all these Street Fighter vehicles, all these great Street Fighter figures, this big old bag of weapons. But then there was an even added bonus in this box. And this is not something I was expecting because Kurt just told me he was, you know, giving me some Street Fighter and some Mortal Kombat figures. But he also gave me this box of G.I. Joes. There's a small little shoebox of G.I. Joes. Well, which, first of all, I got really nostalgic when I saw this because this is how I used to carry my G.I. Joes around, in a shoebox like this. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of us did this when we were kids, right? Shoebox full of toys. My G.I. Joes were always in a shoebox, so that's awesome. And just to kind of, I'll go there. There's a lot of broken ones in here too. Lots of pieces and stuff. There's like guys. There's like, see, there's like legs in here. I've noticed there's a bunch of that sort of thing. But there's a lot of good little figures in here too, and ones that I didn't already have in my collection, which I was really excited about. I think this guy's name is like Incinerator or something. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. But I've always really loved the look of this guy. In fact, while I was at JoeCon, I specifically pointed this guy out while I was walking around with my buddy Dave and said, I love that guy. He's really cool. I really like his look. So I'm really happy that he's in here. I got Slaughter. He's seen better days, but he's been loved. He's been very well played with, which is totally cool. But love Slaughter. Obviously, I'm a big wrestling fan, so it's cool to get Slaughter in there. But yeah, there's just a really, really great assortment of little guys in here. I mean, look at, oh man, what? Yeah. So cool, man. I did not have a lot of these. Here's Slice. It's an orange one. I had the red Slice when I was younger. I think I still have my red Slice from when I was younger. So yeah, man, this is awesome. Look at that. Was that the Ninja Force Zartan, right? with the bright orange mohawk. Oh man, this is just awesome. So massive thanks to Kurt. Thank you so much for sending these along. Oh, super cool. I love it. So thank you so much, Kurt, for sending these along. Like, I really, really appreciate it. And I know I already thanked you over email. I told you I was really excited about the box. I think my specific words were, wow, that's a big box of awesome you sent me. Because I remember opening it, looking at it, going, oh, this is awesome. I can't wait to get all this out and put it on the shelf. And then, you know, all this stuff with my basement has kind of kept me from being able to do that. I've, you know, remodeled and then having to set everything up. And it's been hard to do that with also doing all the reviews and doing the dad thing and all that. So it's been a very slow-moving project. So it's always funny when I'm, like, moving boxes around and opening them up and, like, finding things that I forgot that I bought or that I got or whatever. And it's like I get to experience them all over again. And this, being fresh off of JoeCon and having all this stuff, like, fresh in my mind, it was, like, the perfect time for me to find this box in my pile of boxes that I was going through. And I just got really excited. So, yeah, look at that. Woohoo! And I'll put him back up here too because I really like him. So thank you very much again, Kurt. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I say it all the time. It feels a little weird sometimes just like showing off the toys that I got because I don't want to feel like I'm bragging, but you guys do seem to enjoy it, and I do like showing off these toys. Plus, it's kind of like a fun way to actually talk about them too, you know, and just have a good toy discussion with you guys. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button. If you enjoy what I do on this channel, help me out by hitting that subscribe button, and stay tuned right here. More reviews, more good stuff like this on the way. Until next time, my friends.